Hey everybody, this is Angela and you're listening to 5 Picks and a Chick featuring El Gato. This is a show that gives you 5 NFL picks for people who love football and friendly wagering. Today we are joined by our special guest, Henry. Thanks for being with us, Henry.
Hey, thanks for having me. Let's pick some winners.
One thing I do want to mention, El Gato, is our guest picker, Big Zay, last week. He went 4-1.
Way to go, Big Zay. Good picks.
Now, I went 3-2. My season record is 36 wins, 34 losses, and 5 ties. You went 2-3. You're still at 36 wins, 35 losses, and 4 ties. So we're still above that 500 by just a little tiny hair.
I'll take it. Still, these games have been so dang close. Go either way. Yeah, let's try to pick some good ones here to get our percentage level up, and let's see what happens.
My first pick is going to be Cowboys +1 at Miami. The line did change right before the recording. This is the, quote, something's gotta give game. Miami has not beaten a winning team all season. The Cowboys have not beaten a winning team on the road. So that's why I say, quote, quote, something's gotta give.
For sure.
I think the Cowboys will bounce back after their humiliating loss to the Bills last week. So I'm going to go with the boys in this game. What are your thoughts on this game, Henry?
Yeah, you hit on 3 of the points that I was going to hit on. But I think the additional point for me would be the health of the O-line and the D-line for the Dolphins. They are a little bit banged up, and I think the Cowboys are in desperate need of a bounce-back game. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I'm curious your thoughts on El Gato and Angela. I'm curious your thoughts on the over-under. My understanding is it started at like 51, and I think it's actually dropping. It's getting money on the under.
It dropped 50, I believe. I think it's going to be a pretty good, high-scoring game. But on this one, Dallas, they've got some. It's a love-hate relationship I've got with them right now.
Yep.
They play well. They play well at home. They play well against under 500 teams. Yet they meet a physical team in Buffalo with a above average quarterback, and they run into some issues. They're 3-4 on the road. They were out physical by the Buffalo Bills the other night. The Cowboys really couldn't get off the line of scrimmage and get things going. With all that said, though, Angela brings us some good points. It's a must-win. It's a turnaround game for them. I'm hoping with Philadelphia losing the other night to Seattle, it gives them hope to try to get, maybe win the division and get a first-round home game or bye. I'm going to go with the Cowboys on this one at +1 on the road. I think they'll come out with more urgency than they showed up at Buffalo the other day. So I'll go with the Cowboys +1.
So with that line going lower, I would think that the books want people to go with the over. I really don't know on the points.
I think it's like a 27-24 type game.
Yes. I was going to say 28-24, 30-24, something like that, I'm thinking. I mean, it should be okay weather. And I saw maybe an extended forecast with some rain, but Miami usually has some good weather this time of year. Should be good.
Yeah, I guess I could see this being a big offense game. But
like Jerry Jones pointed out the other day, it was freezing cold in Buffalo. The Cowboys couldn't do anything.
Wow, that was crazy. What is that? What is he thinking? Right?
Hell, it was only 40 degrees in Buffalo in December.
What is he thinking?
It was perfect weather. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Should be good.
I think both teams have some pretty decent defenses. I mean, Cowboy, I think, has one of the better defenses in the league. So, I don't know. That's why I think I would probably stay away from that over-under because I don't really have a strong opinion. So, I'd probably stay
away. If I were wagering, I'd go with the over on that one. That's just me. Yeah.
Well, my second pick is going to be Indy +1 at Atlanta. These are 2 teams heading in opposite directions. Indy has won 5 out of their last 6, and Atlanta has lost 5 of their last 7. And yet the Falcons are the favorite by 1 point. So I'm going to go with the hot team that's getting a point. What are your thoughts on this game, Henry?
The Falcons are on my do not pick list, so I'm definitely on the Colts side. I picked against the Colts last week, and that went way wrong for me. They hammered the Steelers. I don't want to get in front of the Colts. Offense is scoring a bunch of points. Falcons struggle to score points. Their offense is just not very good. I'm not going to get in front of the Colts in this game. I'll take any points the Colts are getting.
What are your thoughts on this game, El Gato?
Yeah, I'm with both of you. After watching the Falcons, lay an egg the other day last week against the Carolina Panthers, who don't have a whole bunch to play with, and still, with their division on the line, they performed like that against a Carolina team. I guess that performance is what's causing Ritter to be benched.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's injured, but Heineke's going to be starting now. Maybe that's an improvement that the Falcons need. I agree with both of you. Indiana, the Colts are, rolling pretty well right now offensively. They're on a good winning streak. They're going for a division title. Yet +1, they need to keep winning. So I'll take the Colts.
Yeah, I think Ritter did get benched, and Heineke is going to be the quarterback. But that still leaves some instability at the quarterback spot. But both teams are still alive, so I think they'll be coming out strong. But I just think Indy's going to pull this one off.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you have a third pick for us, Henry?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to go to the Buccaneers-Jacksonville game. I think this line has moved a little bit. You guys can correct me. I think it opened up as Bucks -1, which to me that signaled that Vegas was begging folks to take Jacksonville. And I think they've got Bucks money coming in. So I think that line's moved to 2.5.
It did.
I really thought it might move the other way. But I think for me, it's just simple. You got a Bucks team that's quarterbacked by a Baker Moneymaker. That's won 3 in a row.
I love it.
They went into Green Bay. I think they beat those guys by almost 2 touchdowns when everybody was on Green Bay.
They went in dry. You're right.
So I think you got a banged up Trevor Lawrence. He's got a high ankle sprain. He's got a concussion. I just think you just have to ride a team that's won 3 in a row. So let me have the Bucks.
What
are your thoughts on this game, El Gato?
Yeah, I like Tampa in this spot too. They need to keep winning as well to stay ahead in their division. They can control it by winning. They performed well last week in Green Bay. I was really surprised. I saw a little bit of that game, and Baker was hitting his intermediate passes, his long passes. The run game was decent, and the Packers, they just wouldn't let them get anything going. To Henry's point, as far as the Jags are concerned, the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, the leader of that team, has not played well. He's been injured, of course. They've lost 3 straight, and Tampa's on a roll. 3 straight wins after that. Losing 6 of 7, mid-season, early in the season. And Tampa goes run heavy, and they keep performing as they did against the Packers. At least they should. I'll take Tampa at -2.5 if that's what the current line is.
Yes, I have that. It is at 2, actually. Henry,
even better.
Did you see something else, Henry?
Yeah, I thought it was
at 2.5.
Yeah, I thought it was 2.5, but I'm sure it's kind of where he shot to.
Yeah, well, we'll just say 2. Lawrence is iffy. I don't think he's going to play. I don't think he could come off concussion protocol that quick. So Beathard is going to step in. He can play fairly well for Jacksonville. So I'm going to go with Jacksonville in this one. I know Tampa is on a 3-game winning streak, and the Jags are on a 3-game losing streak. But Jacksonville has actually faced, I think, much better competition. Even if Lawrence doesn't start, I think the Jags have a better roster and are the more desperate team. So give me the Jags +2.
All right.
El Gato, you have a 4th and 5th pick for us?
I do have a couple of picks. I'm going to go, first one is going to be Cleveland Browns at the Houston Texans. And I'm going to go with the Browns at -2.5. I know they're playing on the road. They're the favorite team, but I'm only going this way because C.J. Stroud is still projected to miss this next game on concussion protocol. Texans have a couple of defensive linemen that are injured, especially their edge rusher Anderson, who's nursing an ankle sprain, so he's questionable. So that just plays into the Browns' hands of Flacco, being able to, with his limited mobility, have time to, navigate the pocket and find his receivers. And I just think the Browns' defense is just going to be too tough, too fast for the Texans quarterback Keenum to, try to perform as he did last week. Of course, they barely won, but the Browns are going to make it tough for him to convert those third downs, and the Browns are in a good spot right here at -2.5 on the road. I'll take the Browns.
What are your thoughts on this game, Henry?
Yeah, I think Elgato nailed it with the Browns defense. I think it's that simple. I think you just, in a game like this, you just ride the better defense. You got, Flacco, who's played better than what I thought he would. He seemed to have some sort of connection with Amari Cooper. And I think, Case Keenum played okay last week against Tennessee. Tennessee didn't look very good last week. Texans squeaked out a win I'm not sure that they deserved. I heard that Davis Mills took more snaps this week, so I don't know if they're deciding between those two quarterbacks. I just think it comes to low-scoring game, you got to go with a better defense.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you guys on this one. I'm taking the Browns, get -2.5. The Texans have a lot of question marks right now with injuries. And the Browns, they seem to keep winning no matter who is under center. So give me the Browns.
All right.
What about a fifth pick, El Gato?
I've got one more pick. This is going to be a division rivalry between the Lions at the Vikings. Vikings have lost 3 of 5, although they had a close game last week at the Bengals. Maybe should have won that game. Lions playing a little bit better. They play a lot better indoors and on turf. That's where Goff and the Lions offense kind of does their thing and scores the football and manages to win the game. This is Lions at -3. I think it's a good spot for them. I think they go run heavy as well, and I think Goff will be able to find his receivers playing in those nice indoor conditions. Lions -3. I'll take them.
What are your thoughts, Henry, on this game?
I kind of consider this a playoff-type game for these two teams. You got the Lions who are trying to win the division. You got the Vikings who are trying to stay in the playoff hunt. They got some questionable quarterback play. I think Jefferson is back for the Vikings. I think the Lions are really going to put in an effort to put in back-to-back good games. They looked great last week. Prior to last week's game, they did not look very good in the prior 3. So I think it's important for them to put together back-to-back games. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Lions.
I'm going with Minnesota in this game. This game is clearly going to be an offense versus defense game. We know Detroit can light it up, and the Vikings defense can shut teams down offensively. Although the Lions played well last week, they have been shaky, especially on the road. Give me the better defense at home getting points. I think their defensive coordinator, Flores, he's really good at what he does. I think he's going to put a lot of pressure on Goff, so I'm going with the Vikings.
All right. That Vikings defense has improved since Flores took over, didn't it? I mean, that Vikings defense last year was God, I don't know what to say. Mush?
Yeah.
Swiss cheese. I mean, everyone either they could do whatever they wanted on those Vikings. So yeah, you have a good point there with the Vikings defense.
Yeah, I think he's really a good defensive coordinator. So I just think that he's gonna call a lot of plays where they're gonna be putting pressure on Goff. So.
Speaking of defense, the game that I'm really looking forward to that's going to have a lot of good defense, a lot of good hitting, a lot of all that good football stuff that we like is Ravens and the 49ers. What do y'all think about that one?
Yeah, that's going to be an exciting game. That's going to be Monday night, and that's Christmas Day. I mean, you can't get any better for a Monday night game, huh?
Oh, I agree. I think people have kind of tabbed it as the Super Bowl preview, and I think 5.5 may just be too much. You got the Niners that are giving 5.5. I know Niners have looked really good, high octane offense, lots of weapons. 5.5 just seems like too many.
Yeah, lots of weapons and a fantastic defense, but the Ravens can also, put that defense on the field also, and they have a few weapons themselves. 5 may be a little much. Maybe a field goal game. What do you think, Angela?
I think 5 is way too much. Last week, San Francisco got outgained by Arizona.
Yeah.
I really believe that this is going to be a Ravens defense kind of game, and the Ravens are going to prevail in this game. So, yeah, I agree. 5 is way too much. I think Ravens can win this outright.
That'd be a good way to end the Week 16, so we'll see.
Sounds like a fun game to watch. Well, you have any final thoughts for us, El Gato?
No, just, it's a lot of close games coming here down the stretch. A lot of teams vying for at home field. A lot of tight races. And it seems like we've been saying this the last 2 or 3 weeks, but no one has really separated themselves, I don't think, other than maybe the 49ers in their division.
Yeah.
So we'll see. A lot of good football. Still a lot to play for.
Agree. What about you, Henry? You have any final thoughts?
Yeah, I would say in the AFC, watch out for the Bills, and in the NFC, watch out for the Rams.
Yeah, Rams
Nice.
are playing really well, right? They kind of started off the season a little slow, and they are playing really well now.
Come out of nowhere, looks like.
And that's a very young team, isn't it? Or correct me, Henry or Gato, if I'm incorrect.
It's the youngest team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Youngest team personnel-wise, but they have one of the most veteran quarterbacks, and you know what they say in the NFL: if you don't have a good quarterback, you have nothing. And they have a combo of a good, solid young team and a veteran quarterback. That's why they're winning.
Yeah. And a head coach that has won the Super Bowl. So
That's it.
Well, if you have made it to this point in our podcast, we just want to thank you for listening to 5 Picks and a Chick. Be sure to tell your friends about us. Also hit the subscribe and like button on our YouTube channel at 5 Picks and a Chick. You can also find us wherever you get your favorite podcasts or ask Alexa to play 5 Picks and a Chick. Thank you to Henry for joining us today.
See you guys.
Thank you, Henry.
Make sure to join us next week. Alma will be our guest picker. And I just wanted to wish both of you a Merry Christmas. Henry, a Happy New Year. Be safe. And to all our listeners out there, I hope y'all have a very Merry Christmas.
Thanks, guys.
As always, thank you to El Gato for being part of 5 Picks and a Chick. 1, 2, 3, break.
Break. That's a wrap. All right.